Hello, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. My name is Jen, and this is part 2 of the annoyed eagle. That's not an eagle, it's a hawk. It's a Harris hawk, I think, yeah. It's a Harris hawk. Pretty damn sure it's a Harris hawk. But anyway, this is part 2 of the hawk. Bird of prey. What's a hawk? No, I know it's a hawk. And this is me finishing the body, which I went really loose actually for me, and I'm trying to be more loose with digital stuff to work more on like the whole picture rather than just certain sections of it. So I guess that's kind of I started with the head, so it's kind of going against that, I guess, but you know, I'm doing the whole body at the moment now. So I'm working on the wings. This is Clip Studio, I meant to say before. I keep forgetting to say that roughly the beginning of the video, but it's Clip Studio. I'm just still trying to figure out the program. That's why I'm keep using it. You know, hey, I'll switch to a different program eventually. Probably go back to Painter or figure out how to use Rebel, and then it'll be like digital watercolor, which will be completely different for me because I haven't used that. And the dog is trying to get up. You might hear her creaking and cracking. All her joints are like pop, 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 pop. But arthritis and all that crap. She's almost 11. So she's like, damn it, I'm laying down, screw it. It's like plop. But I'm gonna have to vacuum later. No, that's okay. So yeah, just quickly putting in where the feathers, directions of the feathers would be. And so it's very loose. That's what I'm trying to do, hopefully. You know, I need to be more loose, even digitally and traditionally. I need to kind of loosen up because it can be quite stiff. And I realize that. And I've tried for years to change it, and I have a really hard time changing it. And the more practice, yeah, okay, I'm almost 40. How much practice can you get? But the more practice, the better, which is really what you're trying to do, is just practice. And so I've moved around a little bit now. It's like back and forth. I keep if you notice the background changing in this, it's like I keep changing it. I keep like getting rid of the blue layers and then going back to like the green, and it keeps changing, and eventually in the end I don't have any really changes to the background. Now I don't know if I held this specific hawk, but I did hold one of the Harris hawks. I think they had 2. Ended up flying with the person at the center. Obviously I wasn't off flying the bird by myself. I don't have any experience doing that. Would love to learn how to do like falconry, but I don't have any experience doing that. And so yeah, because we went out and we flew the bird, which was really fun and interesting, because it's actually a really cool feeling having when the bird like comes to you. Okay, it's coming to get food. You know, that's what it wants. It wants food. But when it lands on you and stuff like that, it's a bit of a weight when it lands on you. Not a huge weight, but you do feel it. You feel the power in the claws. I mean, you've got a glove on, obviously, because if you didn't, you'd have really cut up fingers, because the talons on these things are impressive. Not as impressive as the eagle owl that I also did hold. That was heavy. That thing's a heavy bird with talons that are like about the size of my thumb, probably. Actually, now that I'm looking at my thumb, you know, they are probably the size of my thumb. So don't want to mess with one of them. Not that I'd want to mess with one of these either, because you know, you got the talons, you got the beak, which is sharp as hell too. So you really don't want to piss off a raptor. You know, last thing you want to do. Well, you don't want to piss off most animals anyway, so, but, you know, don't piss off a raptor bird, because it might, like, you know, do some damage. Unintentionally, maybe, but do some damage nonetheless. Anyway, back to the painting. It's like, we ramble on more about more things. So, just adding more layers and flowers. It's not flowers. I'm not painting flowers at the moment. I'm painting a bird. Like, pay attention, Jen, you know, but adding lighter colors, because the bird looks really gray at this stage, and the actual bird was brownish color. I think it's the light more in this photo. I don't know if this was taken with the DSLR or the phone, I can't remember, but either way, it wouldn't matter. The DSLR takes great, gorgeous photos. The phone takes really good photos too, so, you know. But back to the bird. So working on the talons, very, very roughly working on the talons, fleshing them out a little bit more, and erasing things like that don't look quite right. No, they actually look a little bit big for the bird, but I know they're not when I like do measurements and stuff like that. You know, measure like with a pencil or a ruler or something like that. They're actually not too big for the bird, but in the end, I do honestly think they look a little big. I think it's the color actually that throws me off, because they're quite light compared to the rest of the bird, who's like browns and grays, so they stand out a lot. And they just kind of, the first thing you almost see when you look at it, but you'll see that in the end. probably should have darkened them a little bit. Even though I do darken them slightly with an overlay of like brown and gray and stuff, but not enough. But hey, you know, it's all about practice. It's all practice. Me learning how to digitally paint, because I might not be able to physically paint, so I might as well learn how to at least do some kind of art still while I still can. So when I do end up having to do digital painting, you know, it's not all crap. See, color change there again. Did I mention that before? I think I did. But yeah, and the color of the background's very green. But looking at it, like that's like neon green almost. But so just more fleshing out of the talons, and I can't remember if this is real time. I don't think it is. It kind of looks like it is. If it is, it shows. Yeah, it is real time. I can tell looking at it there. It shows how slow I actually work sometimes digitally. But you know, it's also I wasn't wearing, you know, one of those little glovey things that cover up your two fingers and the side of your palm and stuff. So my hand kept kind of juddering and not slide. That was me touching the tablet probably there. It wasn't sliding across the surface of the tablet as well as it probably could have. So yeah, very handy little thing. And now I'm just fixing the shape of the talon because it overlapped. When I originally drew this talon didn't overlap the one behind it, but this claw talon thing, it's really long, and so now it does. So I'm kind of taking artistic license and all that stuff. You know, it's wrong brush. That's a spray paint brush, but which I've never actually used on here. Maybe I should do like a whole painting just like with a spray paint thing. So it's like using a spray can. So you know, you're painting graffiti on walls or something like that. But this is a proper brush now. It's like, wrong brush before. Is it the right brush? Yeah, it is the right brush. If it wasn't, too bad. It is now. Really, it is now. It's the right brush now. But, and just refining the claw and stuff, and like I said, this shows how slow I actually work digitally, which is a bit of a problem. Really, it's not a problem. It's something I need to work on personally. It's not a problem for anybody else. It's a issue for me, you know, because I can draw like with a pen and pencil, you know, quickly, but not quite up to that speed digitally. Getting there. But like I said, it's all about practice. That's really all that's important, is just keep practicing. And this is a close-up of the talons. And now we're back to possibly real time. I'm not 100% sure because I can't remember the timestamps that I made. But yeah, I think it looks like it's sped up. So yeah, because I worked on the rest of the talon and I forgot to hit record, so you don't see the actual yellow parts of the talon. So it's like, oh, my bad. Remember, again, I keep saying, remember to turn on OBS, and I always frickin' forget. But just adding a bit of shadow with black, which next painting I'll try really hard not to use because I have to stop relying on it. I really do. I mean, I use Payne's Gray most of the time when I'm painting, so why don't I use a darker, like a gray or whatever when I'm doing this? It would work better. I don't know, but next one I'm gonna try. Even though the next one is kind of like a cartoony thing, so I don't actually know if it's gonna need the shading. I might just leave it flat colors. I'm not 100% sure yet. Time will tell, and whether I feel like spending more than a day on it. Who knows? But if I do, then I'll try to remember to use Payne's Gray because that's important. I've got like big tub of it. Not tub, like it's like not like a 2-liter thing. I don't know how big actually it is because I can't see it. It's under the desk. Of Payne's Gray when I'm painting, so I don't know why I don't use it when this. But hey, live and learn, sort of, I guess. And now normally I would do the back of the bird before I did the talons because the back of the bird, like the tail feathers and the wings and all that stuff, were behind the bird. But for some stupid reason, I decided not to. So it kind of created a bit of a problem when I was trying to do the white tail feathers and the belly feathers and stuff because I was like, oh crap, I need to color over some of these talons. And it's gonna look really stark, so next time, remember? I do it like background first. Background elements first. It's normally how I paint and draw and do anything else, so why did I not remember here? It's kind of like, duh, you know? Maybe tired, maybe I'm tired, I don't know. More than likely, it's probably from being tired. We'll say it's from being tired that I forgot to do that. You know, background paint background, it's like when you paint oils, back first. Kind of thing. When you paint with anything, you should do background stuff first, background elements, and then work on top of that. Same thing if you color pencils, same kind of thing. Backgrounds are important. Don't forget them in colored pencils, even though I do have the time anyway. Because I'm lazy when it comes to colored pencils, because they take forever. Love them, but they take forever. It's like my first medium that I ever really got into was colored pencils. I would have been 13. Yeah, I would have been 13 roughly when I got into colored pencils, and I was constantly using, like, making movie posters and copying stuff, and just like I just spent all kinds of time with them and stuff. But now I don't use them as much because because they take a long time. Except when I'm using sanded paper, like if I'm using like Fisher paper, that works. I like that. That's quite quick, but it eats your pencils up because it's for pastels generally, so it eats the light up. But so now I'm rambling. No big surprise there. I was afraid here that the talon would be lost in the black tail feathers, but because the talons are more gray than black, they still show up, thankfully. So you can kind of see it there. Also because there's also like a green kind of like light to it, so that kind of helps make it stand out a little bit. Just adding like little tiny feathers to kind of make it look less flat, which I don't succeed very well. But hey, you know, this is a very big practice piece, we'll say. Yeah, we'll say that. It's a very not advanced. It's a practice piece that takes more than 5 minutes to do, we'll say. And the tail feathers were easy. That was like, this is easy, you know, just add some rough texture with a gray and a white, and that was the easy part. The tail feathers were great. It was like, yeah, it's too bad not everything else could be this easy, you know? I was like, no, tail feathers, should have done the whole thing, but he's a little bit too gray in this, and you kind of see that, so I'm kind of trying to lighten his head up a little bit and add a bit of darkness to it because it looked a little flat. But so this isn't finished. I added, like, you might see the right side looking at the screen is slightly darker now because I added another layer with an overlay, I think, with a bit of brown, like a dark brown shadow on top of it, so it kind of made it look a little bit less flat. So overall, I'm okay with it, and you see what I mean when the first thing you look at is the frickin' talons, you kind of ignore the rest of the bird. But next time, don't make them so bright yellow because your eyes just immediately go to that. And that's no good when you're trying to create an art piece that people look at the whole thing eventually. But yeah, so that's my annoyed hawk. It's a hawk. It's a Harris hawk. I didn't look it up, but I remembered. It's definitely a Harris hawk, so that's it finished. So, what do I have to say now? I need an ending. I thought I found an ending, like, you know, like, subscribe, comment, and all that other crap YouTubers are supposed to say, and thank you for watching.